Hey y'all, what's up? This is OD from On the Air Sickled with another powerful discussion. You know how we do it. Tonight, we got a special one for you. We have Aaron Washington, the first successful BMT recipient, coming at you live on Air Sickled. Check it out. Hey y'all, welcome back to the show. This is OD. I am the executive director and host of On the Air Sickled, and I am so excited to be able to bring you another wonderful episode. This is the bone marrow transplant success story featuring Miss Aaron Washington. She is our guest for the show today. Listen, before we get started, make sure that you all stay hydrated because the weather is changing. Our weather for today is a high of 67 with a low of 43 degrees. All right. And then tomorrow we have a high of 61 and a low of 45. Make sure you are staying warm. Make sure you're staying hydrated. Make sure you got your blanket, whatever you need so that you stay out of the hospital. All right. But without further ado, we're going to get started with our show and bring in our special guest, Miss Aaron Washington, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, Aaron, how are you?
I'm still here. I can't complain. How about yourself?
I'm wonderful. Ladies and gentlemen, Aaron Washington, she is a motivational speaker. She is a bone marrow transplant recipient and an epilepsy thriver, sickle cell survivor, stroke survivor, seizure survivor. You just got everything going on, Aaron. What is going on? Tell us a little bit about yourself. What made you decide to join our podcast today? What is your story?
Well, I was so blessed for this podcast to just come to me. Actually, I think it was your wife that hit me up when I was going to the Caregiver Summit.
Oh, wow.
I did not know there were so many different podcasts about sickle cell disease.
Oh, yes, absolutely. And you know what? It's so interesting. On the Air Sickle was kind of birthed out of this idea of frustration that there's all this attention on all these other diseases. You know, you see it broadcasted on the news all the time. Cancer, dementia. I told you I worked in senior care. All these different diseases. We have all of these cures, right? And where is the attention on sickle cell? Today alone, a lot of people still don't know what sickle cell disease is. Why it's such a big deal. It's really sad. And I was reading your story, Interestingly enough, I researched you. You know, I have to do my investigative research. I researched you, and you're on the CDC website, and your story literally mirrors my own. I mean, it's really, really cool to see. So this is the first time you're like a female version of OD here. I have never met somebody that had a story so similar to mine. But I don't want to tell your story. This is an episode about you. Tell us about your childhood, what it was like living with sickle cell disease.
It was a ball game, to tell you the truth. I had I had three two older sisters and a younger brother. You know the story. My parents didn't know they had the trait. You hear all these people getting tested before marriage, but why can't sickle cell trait people do that too? I'm like, Jesus, help me.
Yeah. Yeah.
So when I was born, my dad was extremely confused. He's like, oh, okay, so I got two daughters and one of them ended up having sickle cell disease. And just working through it was even harder, especially since, school was rough. I was definitely that kid that came to school with an oxygen tank.
Wow.
The crisis got worse. And I was 11 when I found out about the bone marrow transplant. Mad because the bone marrow transplant was specifically made for cancer patients. And it's been going on for a long time. Because sickle cell was such a downfall, killing so many people, they're like, oh, okay, let's give this a test and see if this will help. I do not like calling my bone marrow transplant experimental, because everything when it comes to sickle cell disease is experimental. Have this person try this this medication. Maybe if they got on more blood transfusion, it might help them. So I came into the hospital with 3 strokes already on my back.
Wow.
My doctor said I needed a 5 out of 5 match. And I didn't have any time to wait for a donor. I was going downhill so quickly. And like I said, I was blessed to have siblings that get on my nerves every day, but that's what comes with having siblings. And my older sister, Taylor, was my donor. We were all in high school, middle school. I had to put my 8th grade on hold due to my bone marrow transplant. And I was so proud because, again, I'm the first and only non-match. My sister had 2 liters taken out from her. She was not well after that. She was in the hospital bed with me trying to recover. And it's just the anxiety of just going back and remembering it is hard. I had spiking fevers that hit up to 108. Graft versus host disease that end up hitting my legs and my organs. I had to get emergency surgery because these bubbles in my stomach gotten so massive it could have killed me. I ended up having a stoma. Yeah, that was a pretty sight. But I couldn't digest my medication, so my medication would come out in my stomach bag. So during my bone marrow transplant process, I had my 4th stroke, and it was a nightmare. I couldn't walk. I couldn't talk. I couldn't remember who I was or my family. And I was just so done. My doctors end up diagnosed me with epilepsy. And I mean, I was mad. I'm like, first I have to deal with one invisible disease, and now I have to deal with epilepsy, and that one's more hidden because everything is up here.
Hmm.
So I calmed down. My dad, when I was a little girl, he took a lot of pictures of the whole family, and I hated it. But he ended up making me a video and sending it to me. My family, my friends will be by my hospital bed saying, "Hi, my name is Taylor. I'm your big sister. Hi, my name is Maya. I'm also your big sister." And every day I heard those voices. My auntie would put, what's it called, lavender on my head and on my wrist. And I started to smell them, but again, I did not know who they were. My mom ended up putting her cell phone to my ear, and it was my dad on the phone. Before I knew it, I ended up saying, "I love you too, Dad."
Wow.
My seizures, I want to say, had gotten worse after my bone marrow transplant. Used to have 7 a day. Still going back to school, and school made my seizures worse going through the stress. I ended up having to get my right frontal lobe removed just to stay seizure free. It worked for 10 years, but because I wanted to have a normal life and I wanted to drive so badly, I asked to get weaned off my medication.
Hmm.
And then my seizures came back with full force and ended up breaking my leg.
Oh my gosh.
So, you have you guys ever wanted to ride a roller coaster backwards?
Hmm.
It's scary to go through so much stuff and then repeating it. But again, like I said, I'm here and I'm happy. Sickle cell didn't take me, and seizures are not going to take me either. Strokes, nothing. Because I definitely got a plan. When I was little, my aunt called me blessed and highly favored. And I believe that every day. I believe that coming on shows like this, telling my story, being an advocate, supporting my sickle cell family, and see how much stuff is changing, because stuff is changing.
It is.
There are now cures out there. Like the bone marrow transplant were made for, our little warriors, because we can grow up a little bit better, heal a little bit faster. But now we have gene therapy and more,
Mhm.
especially for our diamond warriors out there that I'm so proud of. And I love those warriors that don't feel like they need the cure because they know they understand their body and sickle cell, and that is so incredible to me.
Wow. Wow. Such a powerful story. And one thing that I'm just drawn into the idea of you wanting to live a normal life and suddenly, the seizures are coming back. I mean, it's all of it kind of coincides, right? This idea of living with sickle cell disease and trying to just be with your friends and I don't know, play a sport or go to a party or whatever the case may be, whatever that idea of normal is for a warrior, and suddenly the carpet is ripped from under you because of the fact that, oh, you're in a crisis,
Mm-hmm.
another hospital visit, right? um Tell me, you mentioned a few things in your story about going to school with oxygen. How did you explain the idea of, hey, I need this oxygen tank to your classmates, right? To your teacher. Don't laugh at me, don't judge me. This is my life. Like, how do you go through that?
I have to say I got a couple teachers fired.
Jeez.
Y'all remember that test called the Pacer? That was the stupidest test to me.
Yeah.
I could not run fast enough to keep up with my classmates. Shoot, I had a
Yeah.
hard enough time telling my PE teacher that I needed a water bottle. Falling out in the track. I'm like, and it got worse when I had seizures. I'm like, hey, I can't get overworked. Y'all can't have me do this and this and this because just the simplest thing started my seizures. My whole rainbow of emotions started my seizures. I'll be too happy and have a seizure,
Oh
furious and have a seizure. So I end up trying to hide all my emotions in and end up getting pseudo seizures. And I'm perfectly awake while I'm watching myself seizure out.
wow. And how did you wind up recognizing the differences between each seizure?
I'm still trying to figure that out today.
Wow.
But my pseudo seizure, I'm awake. I didn't black out. I didn't do anything. I'm watching myself throw up, bodies moving like jello. And I'm seeing the people around me watching me seize out. That's the best part about epilepsy, though, because when I have a seizure, I knock out for a little bit. Then I end up waking up trying to figure out what happened. So that 10, 6 minutes of me blanking out, that's kind of coping. Because I'm not sitting there, well, actually, I do hear everything going on, but I'm not watching the people trying to figure out if I'm okay. What's going to happen next? What should we do?
Sure. Wow. Wow. That's a tough life to live. You're the first person that I've interviewed that has a combination of illnesses related to sickle cell. Not that it's unique or different than anyone else, but it's more overly complicated to be able to find that balance of, okay, I finally got through the seizure episode, and now I have to make sure that I don't enter into a crisis. I just imagine that your hospital visits are even more complicated just because the doctors are like, okay, well, what are we dealing with first? Which one's more urgent? How do we, distinguish the difference? I mean, you're literally giving everyone around you a run for their money because every decision for you is critical. Every decision. That's incredible. All right, you also talked about graft versus host. Can you tell the audience what that is? Why that's such an important factor when it comes to a bone marrow transplant?
Most people usually get graft versus host. I'm the host, and my sister was the graft. So my immune system was already iced out due to chemotherapy. So the little immune system that I had was fighting off my sister's immune system. It was confused. It's like, oh, hold on, there's something new in this body. Let's attack it. We don't know what it is.
And how quickly did your immune system kind of accept the process?
Not quick enough. I was in the hospital for a year.
Wow. Is that what someone told you, or were you able to kind of remember that?
Oh yeah, I remember it. I spent every holiday in the hospital.
Oh my goodness.
Every now and then they'll allow me like to go out for Christmas, but it was more like an hour, a couple of days, and then I had to go back to the hospital.
Jeez. And how's your sister now?
Taylor, oh, she is the bomb. She's a yoga teacher. She is enjoying life. She's a mother.
That's
And
awesome.
I'm proud of her. Every day I tell her I'm proud of her. She just is not my sister anymore. She's my hero. She could have had not gave me her marrow, Because again, my bone marrow transplant set a lot of my family members back. And as much as I wish I can turn back time and give them what they missed, I can't. But I'm proud of all of them growing with me. Believe
Mm-hmm.
it or not, it was my youngest brother that caught my first seizure. He's just sitting there playing video games, and I fell on the floor. My mom was stressed out during my bone marrow transplant and ended up getting shingles, putting herself in her own cold blue situation. So
Wow.
Jeremiah, my youngest brother's like, Aaron, stop playing. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. Call 911. End up coming to the hospital holding my hand. Allowing my mother to sleep, because Lord knows you can't sleep in the hospital.
Right.
But I was just, as many times my doctor is trying to tell me, well, I don't know what's going on in my body, for my little brother to pick it up and tell them that they tripping blew my mind.
Wow. Wow. It's so interesting just to see the dynamic of your family. I mean, your family seems really close. The fact that you all have come together to support each other through this entire process, the complications of your health and the journey that you've been on. Can you tell me how life is for you now? What are you doing to kind of, you know, I know you're advocating and you're motivating others to, kind of, stay strong in this fight. What does that look like for you? How do you still manage your stress to kind of be able to stay focused and do what you need to do as a regular human being, whatever that is?
Trust me, nothing about me is regular.
Right.
I, I'm a classic. But stress is always going to be there. There's nothing you can do. If I had a magic wand to take everybody's stress away, it would be incredible. But I stay focused. Even when I was a child, I always stayed focused on my small blessings. I I now work and I could never in my life say, hey, I got a job. I
Mm-hmm.
may not like the people I work with, but I can go to work today.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. I
I make
it's
tea when
it,
I'm stressed because I like different herbs. I like knowing
okay.
I have some type of control. Because that's the thing that I suffer through the most is lack of control over my own life. I had
Mm-hmm.
no control when it came to sickle cell. I had less control when it came to seizures. But knowing that I can make some tea that tastes real good and make me happy, I can work with that. I
Yeah.
like to do puzzles because in my mind I say I'm a unique puzzle piece that no one can put together. But I wasn't made to be put together.
Mm. Mm. So much wisdom that you have, just from the hardships that come with this experience, and the grace that you've been able to kind of surround your thought process in your mind around the idea of, hey, this is my situation and we're going to get through this. Like, we're going to take it one day at a time. We're going to push through. We're not going to let these setbacks hold us back. That mindset is a powerful thing, and to see that you're accomplishing things that most people probably dream of doing, right,
Mm-hmm.
is incredible. I remember having a conversation with a former physician of mine who said, you're a high functioning sickler. I don't know what that means.
Explain that.
I'm a high functioning sickler. Why? So, but because I work, because I, am married, and because I'm doing so much in the community, I'm a high function. So it's already tough to kind of fight the label of having sickle cell. Okay, now in your situation, sickle cell, epilepsy, and trying to maneuver all of that, and be this incredible motivational speaker, and warrior and survivor and thriver to a larger, greater community is amazing. You are literally breaking walls down by doing that, and that's incredible.
Thank you. But yeah, I can explain that one. I hate that word in my tongue.
Yes.
Believe it or not, my new label, because I had to get brain surgery, I had to get my right frontal lobe removed. It's called traumatic brain injury.
Mm-hmm.
But you could have never thought, just by looking at me and speaking to me, that I had my right frontal lobe removed.
Yeah.
And I had to go through a lot of different special need classes, and they called me high functional. That I can do things that normal people with disabilities can't do. I am more focused on other things that might help me grow than trying to find basic things like how to make up my bed.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So yeah, high functional.
High function.
Not a good word.
Yes.
But if you twist it around and say I am functional to do this and that, that's what makes me higher than anyone else can see. Because I can do whatever I put my mind to and more.
Yes. Yes. And that's what I share with people all the time is, hey, I have sickle cell disease, and you would never know. I've been out of the hospital now for going on 3 years, which is a blessing. I had a stroke when I was 5. You would never know just by looking at me and talking to me, right? And so those moments where I can give that shock value to people who think, oh, people with sickle cell, it's just a death sentence, are moments that I cherish. And it sounds like you do the same. You have the same perspective. This is the time of the show where I see myself out and I give our guests the opportunity to speak right into the camera, speak right to the audience, and share whatever is on your heart that you would like for them to know. And I think as a motivational speaker, this is a no-brainer for you. Ladies and gentlemen, Aaron Washington, it is your moment.
You heard me say many times before, I'm so proud of all these warriors out here. Y'all really don't understand how much y'all mean, especially the warriors that are living to their 60s. It is possible. Everything is possible now. Be kind. And I'm pretty sure y'all know what I'm about to say next. Be patient. And enjoy life as much as you can. Because tomorrow is not promised to everyone. So knowing that you're a sickler and take every day makes it worth living another day. Thank you for being so beautiful.
Ladies and gentlemen, you've heard it right here on the Air Sickled. I am OD. This is Aaron Washington. She is the first non-match bone marrow transplant success story. And she is here sharing her story and her inspiration of her life with you. I'm going to put you into the green room. Please don't log off, Aaron. We'll check in with you a little later, okay?
Sounds like a plan.
All right. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, you are listening to On the Air Sickled. Another great episode, another great conversation, one with power, one with meaning. Listen, if you are dealing with sickle cell disease, and a combination of another health challenge, there is hope. Let Aaron's story be that hope for you. Let it be a testimony of the power that you can have as you deal with life through this journey. All right. And as we continue, I want to make sure that if you ever need support, you connect with Sickle Cell Medical Advocacy. Sickle Cell Medical Advocacy is a partner with On the Air Sickle. If you contact them at sicklecellmedicaladvocacy.org, you can get yourself a healthcare navigator. That healthcare navigator will help you in the emergency room or in the overnight stay situations where the doctors aren't listening, where the nurses aren't giving you the best care. They can navigate that conversation and that relationship for you. So please, please, please connect with Sickle Cell Medical Advocacy, SCMA. You can go there at www.sicklecellmedicaladvocacy.org. Also, if you want to be a guest on the show, your opportunity is just a click away. Go to www.ontheairsickle.com, hit the share my story link, fill out the form, and one of our team members will connect with you as soon as possible. You could be the next guest live on the air. Also, please remember that On Air Sickle is a nonprofit organization. We have a 3-layered vision, as you can see there on the screen. On the Air Sickle has the opportunity to have continued growth and development, support sickle cell research, and to start what's called the Flip the Bill campaign. Imagine for a moment that you are a loved one, such as Aaron, who is impacted by sickle cell, and you're in the hospital for long periods of time. You can't put food on the table. You might need help with a medical expense. We want to be able to give back. And so the Flip the Bill campaign is On the Air Sickle's way of saying, listen, we hear you. We know that you're in a financial deficit, and maybe we can provide groceries for you with a check for your family for a week. Or maybe we cover that primary care visit. Or maybe there's a procedure that needs to get done, and we can support you. But we need your help by donating. You can simply donate to On the Air Sickle by going to our PayPal. All right, there's the account there at On the Air Sickle OD. Any monetary gift of any kind will do. Listen, there is opportunity where On the Air Sickle can grow and help support the sickle cell community or those dealing with other medical impairments, okay? Please donate today. You can go to PayPal at On the Air Sickle OD, and any monetary gift of any kind supports our 3-layered vision. Ladies and gentlemen, please follow us also on our social media handle. Don't forget, this is on YouTube, so click that notification button, subscribe to our channel, and don't miss a single episode of On the Air Sickle. I am so glad to be able to give this platform the attention that it deserves. Sickle cell patients need the opportunity to be able to express themselves openly, where they can air the good, the bad, the ugly in the name of awareness and advocacy. And listen, you can support the fight. You see, I'm wearing my On the Air Sickle hoodie. The summertime is coming. We're going to be putting out some shirts. Please go to our website again, www.ontheairsickle.com. You can go to the shop category, and you can literally pick whatever item you would like. We'll get it shipped out to you as soon as we get your order in, and you can rep OTAS all day long. You can rep us in the grocery store, rep us in the hospital. Let the world know that you are on the air, Sickle. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining the show. Until next time, stay strong.